Okay.
Yeah. All right, you ready? All right, here we go. We're going to start our committee meeting. Tonight we have 2 first readings, no second, third, or pending. We also have a supplemental agenda with 1 first reading, so we'll move right into finance. Jim?
Opening the Finance Committee at 6:04. All members present. Resolution 21R61, a resolution ratifying a 3-year labor agreement between the City of New Franklin and the Ohio Patrolmen's Benefit Association, Patrol, Corporal, and Sergeant Lieutenant units, and declaring that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon passage. And it looks like we worked really well together as a team.
They reached out and said that if we were able to do what we did last time around with the wage package, we really didn't have anything else to fight about. And you know, sometimes these things get into nitpicking, and it didn't go there at all. We did a look through our labor people and also through the information we get from the Ohio Municipal League, what's going on in other jurisdictions, and these are probably they're certainly comparable, and maybe at the lower end, quite frankly, and the police know that. Of what's happening at other police departments in other cities around Ohio. So we were real pleased with the attitude of the doctor. I think this maybe sets a tone for the other contracts to follow. So the police have ratified it, and it's up to council at this point. If council approves it, we got a contract.
I think it's fantastic that they did that they took the step and came forward. I kind of reviewed the changes that you sent along, and I didn't see anything that stood out that said, oh, what? So, anybody have questions or?
Hey,
whoa. That's an official term. Anybody have questions, comments, concerns? I am surprised to say this, but I think we should look at waiving the fee on this.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. And then we have our supplemental, and I don't know who is that. Is that
They want you to know.
somebody else? Okay, so we will close the Finance Committee at 6:06. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim. I'll move to community development meeting.
Open community development at 6:06. One resolution, 21R62, resolution declaring September 3rd, 2021 as James France Day in the City of New Franklin, and declaring that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon passage. I would read this, but I assume you have you could convey it much better than I could. So.
There was going to be a ceremony on Friday, and people conducting the ceremony reached out to let us know about that and wondered what the city might do. And cognizant of the fact we've got 4 different districts in New Franklin, we want to honor any eminent educator or achiever in any or all of those districts. This is the first time anybody's really come forward, and certainly Jim France with his accomplishments is I think worthy of the recognition. A lot of the public knows, but 48 years as head football coach, and I guess 46 as coach and 48 as principal educator. I'll say 2 things, Kenny. The football speaks for itself, all-time winningest coach in the history of Ohio. And that's a lot. These 400 and some wins. I mean, you got to win 10 games a year for 40 years to do that. That's pretty incredible. But I know that he would say, and what he did is an older men, and it sounds trite, but it's true. Nobody has positions like that, and everybody loves him. But there's a whole lot of people who love this man, and the last thing I'll say about him as an educator, the structure in that school, the discipline in that school, and I think it's probably true of all 4, I say it's true of all the schools in the 4 districts. There's education going on in there, and that doesn't happen by accident. And I spent 8 years teaching, and the first time I walked in there, he said, you want to find out what's going on in the school, walk the halls. And if you walk the halls and it's quiet, you go walk past the rooms and it's quiet in there. You got education going on. And that all starts in the guy in the front office. So to me, his contribution as a principal is every bit as important as his contribution as a coach. And so I think it's certainly a fitting way to acknowledge and congratulate him for that. If council passes that, we will. The event is on Friday, and there'll be a presentation. And Mrs. Jones has graciously agreed to be the person to make that presentation.
I'm honored to do it.
So we should take time, then.
I'm still going to present it.
You're still gonna do it here. So I can't imagine anybody, or does anyone have any questions or anything? All right, move on. I don't imagine we pass that tonight, so just close. Community development at 6:08.
Okay, Andy, move over to our supplemental. Judy?
Open at 6:09. Resolution 21R63. A resolution awarding a bid to Shook Company LLC for the City of New Franklin Denner Road Bridge project and declaring that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon passage. And it looks, Paul, as if this was the lowest.
It was.
687, and the next highest was 707.
Yeah.
So that was quite a difference. I had not heard of this company.
Yeah.
Have they?
Yeah, they do a lot of treatment plants.
Do they?
Yeah,
Very reputable.
And in addition, this is a joint project with ODOT, and in fact, it's a 95-5 joint project. ODOT's paying 95%, but we're the principal, and so that's why we were the bidders. And when the bids came in, they're screened not just by you, but also by ODOT. And when they came in, as you can see, just August 26th, the bids were announced. ODOT took a look, and they made the recommendation to us that we select Shook. And now it takes council's approval to make that official. Once you pass this, then ODOT will draw the contract, and Shook will sign it, ODOT will sign it, and City of New Franklin will sign it. We did it as an add-on to try to move this as quickly as we can. The construction will start sometime in the fall, late fall, early winter. Probably, almost certainly will go into next year, because I guess one of the key components are the pilings, I want to say. And these have to come in, and they're back ordered, and the sooner they order them, the sooner they're going to get them, but they know it's going to take a while to get them. So it was suggested to us by our engineer, the sooner we can pass this, the sooner we can keep the clock moving and get that bridge reopened.
Kind of a no-brainer.
And it does save us some money, by the way, because this project anticipated that the construction aspect of it was going to be $815,000. And now it goes down to $686. We're paying a percentage share. This is probably going to save us somewhere from $5,000 to $12,000.
So we recommend to waive the pre-reading rule. I'll close the meeting at 6:12.
Judy? Anything for anybody's committees at this point? All right, I'd like to call to order the City of New Franklin Council meeting. This was Wednesday, September 1st, 2021 at 6:12. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Hargett? Mrs. Jones? Mr. Fetterman?
Here.
Mr. Hall?
Here.
Ms. Norris? Here. Mr. Scott?
Here. I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the regular scheduled meeting of August 18th, 2021.
Second?
A second, first and second. Any discussion, comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Hargett?
Yes.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Fetterman?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Ms. Norris?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
All right, move into our public comment. Please keep your comments addressed to council in under 4 minutes and state your name and your address. Just guessing, you guys got it?
Yeah, my name is Joe Young. Just to let you know, I live in the area that was formerly known as Nemesilla Heights. Nemesilla Heights was the area that is bordered by Nemesilla Road, Perlman, and Harder Home Drive. The triangle is down here on Nemesilla Road. Just a little brief history. A man named James Harder fought in the War of 1812 was awarded 50 acres in what is now, or what was then the Western Reserve. 17 acres are in that triangle. 33 acres was over toward Knowledge School. Fast forward about, let me step back again. 1828, he came and he established a house, which is the house I live in today. It was a small timber frame structure, and in about 1850 they added to that. My house is very, very old for this neck of the woods. One of the probably, I would suggest, oldest in this area. Fast forward, eventually a man named Mr. Weaver, I think Ralph Weaver was his name, married into the family and adopted the house and the 17 acres. I can't attest to the other 33 acres, but I know that he operated a farm on those 17 acres in that triangle. In about 1950-52, he decided to sublet or sublot those, and now we have houses everywhere. In that process, we had septic systems that were 1950 science. And every one of them had a curtain drain. After the leach field, the curtain drain went to a common drain. Common drain starts up at the point, which is Perlman and the Minnesota Road. It runs down through the yards, and then when it gets to my house, it turns south and goes approximately 100 and 150 feet, and then it turns and it goes west again toward Heart of Home Drive. What the problem is now is we have a failure somewhere, and the failure is now has caused some detriment to my property. Amongst other things, we have a swamp in my backyard. My septic system's not working very well. I lost a big walnut tree due to rotted roots, and every time it rains heavy, I have to go out and bleach my well because my water source is getting contaminated. So I talked to Judy, Mrs. Jones here, and she said, well, you need to get a hold of Brian Kepler. Brian Kepler described to me that what he found, or what he was aware of, is it was a groundwater issue. And the groundwater issue sounds like a great remedy because they had to clean it out in the storms of 2006 or whatever that was. But indeed, that's not the problem. Summit County came out and, here 5-6 years ago, EPA came out and made us all put in a test port for our effluent that comes off of our leach bed. And they put that in there. I was lucky to get away with just $1,000 for about an hour and a half worth of work, in my mind. But that pipe that he found is about 4 feet down. And it is not a groundwater issue. It is a culvert or a drainage easement underground is my problem. This is my neighbor, Tim Albaugh. Tim lays pipe for a living. Tim and I walk down through the yards, and that's the path I take to go to the football games. And every one of the yards on the south side of that triangle is, I can't say everyone, but many of them have a viewport. And when we went down and looked through all of them, they were all charged up to the top. Now, a letter came across your desk. Mr. Noble met me last night, and I appreciate Kevin's efforts. And Kevin and I walked down through the yards and we looked at those test ports. They're not as full as they were, but they are certainly filled up. Which indicates to me that that pipe, now it could be damaged at this point, but that pipe eventually makes it out to the 3-foot culvert pipe that goes north and south on Heart of Home Drive. We immediately noticed a collapsed pipe in a sinkhole. And I brought that to Mr. Kepler's attention. He's told me that he got in there and he found a small 4-inch pipe that had caused a small collapse. But he says he fixed it. I have to believe that he did, but that hasn't remedied my problem. I go back down there and there are additional sinkholes happening, small ones as they are, but it starts small and it gets bigger if you're aware of drainage and drainage pipes. And I know that we're still in the discovery phase of this. I started this back in April. I had cervical neck fusion, and then my mother's become ill. I had a chance to address this. I'm on it right now. I wanted to make my appearance here to let you know that that I'm pursuing this. So Mr. Noble let me know that, and I showed him the plat map from 1954, that there is an established easement, drainage easement. But I'm not sure, we have not been able to find the language that is associated with that easement. And so I want to pursue some kind of remedy, and I don't know what that remedy is, but I want to work with my city councilman and my city to try to find a reasonable solution. I could indeed, if I got a new septic system and ran my effluent out to the ditch in front of my house, that could take care of maybe potential septic problems, but that doesn't stop anything that's rainwater coming down Harder home and filling up the basin that's between our yards full of water and losing trees, having open water mess on my yard, and contaminating my well. So I want to be on record that I am here, and I want to praise Mr. Noble for putting his effort in so far. His first suggestion was for me to take a sump pump and pump my viewport out. My viewport's about 4 foot of water filled up. It took, and that's you know, if you ever have a sump pump in your basement, it takes about 30 seconds to empty a sump pump. This should have taken as much as 2 minutes maybe to fill up, but I ran it for 45 minutes. I finally got down to where I could see the pipes. And I got water coming into it I got not only my water, but I got water coming into it from the west, meaning that that basin is filled up. I need to go in and get a bite to eat. Hadn't eaten all day, so I unplugged it, and I came back out just before coming to the meeting. I'm filled up again, probably 8 to 10 gallons, at least, probably that far up on that riser. And so Kevin and I, I'm sure we're going to talk about this and what maybe the remedy is, but I just want to make you guys aware that I'm pursuing this, and hopefully we can get some kind of resolution. That's all I have.
Joe, what is your address?
719 West Minnesota Road.
Thank you.
It's the purple house with the cactus in the front.
Fabulous, thank you.
Yeah, this is Mr. Young. I'm glad you're here. This came into us Friday afternoon at 4:37. Actually, that's when the email reached us. We talked Monday about it, and Barry got back to Mr. Young. We also contacted Kevin Noble, and we asked Kevin Noble to go out there. So we had Kevin out there the next day, Tuesday. We also contacted Summit County Health Department and Mr. Sams. I don't know if you've talked to him already.
Yeah, so can I address that?
Well,
go ahead, finish.
Well, that's right. Go ahead. We just want you to know we tried to circle whatever wagons there were. And so, and he's responded. So I do want you to know that we got on it as quick as we could. I think it's fair to say it's still in the discovery stages of what the problems are. And it's, the easement itself, I'm not even going to begin to guess. If it's the pipe that's in the easement, then it's going to be a question of what relief the city can provide, because that's not necessarily a unique situation in New Franklin. Just because it's an easement doesn't mean it's a New Franklin easement. Right? At that time, it would have been a Franklin Township easement. So, Mr. Young, what you probably know is we've got situations like this all over the city that occasionally it involves a New Franklin easement that's platted that way. But when it doesn't, when it's a private easement on private property, then there's an issue in terms of just how much the city can get involved. Do we have the authority to expend city funds on that? Arguably we do. And then if we do, then how do we prioritize those? And which one do we do first, and et cetera, et cetera. So, but we want to be as helpful as we can be. So I guess the first question is trying to help you. We will continue to monitor this with you, and Kevin told us he's going to get back to us as well. So, but go ahead. You had a response on some kind of
going back to the Summit County Health Department. They were the first people I contacted. They told me that pound salt was my problem, and now they want to dye my well, my septic system. which is really unfair because it's not operating well because my current drain has no place to drain. So I think it's really unfair that they want to now dime my situation.
When I saw it, I think they stepped out of it. When I got back from Mr. Sands, I looked at it kind of quick this afternoon, but I think he's saying they took a look and that they're saying it's not necessarily a septic issue or a sanitary issue, so that they don't feel that there's an action for them, you know, in this.
Right, at this point, I think that was his,
Yeah.
you know, I objected. I adamantly objected to him coming out and putting dime on well until at such point that everything's working as was designed.
But we'll follow it with Kevin and see
Yeah,
what, you know, what the issue is and what we can do.
I have an email to Kevin that I was pumping it out today and I haven't heard back from him. I'm anxious to give him that report. But that's where I stand.
Thank you.
It'll be on record tonight.
All right, thank you so much. I'm sure we'll stay on that. Anything else? Anybody else? Good. Okay. All right, we're going to get into our legislation this evening. Again, there's two first readings and we have a supplemental with the first reading. Start with resolution number 21-R-61, Kelly.
A resolution ratifying a 3-year labor agreement between the City of New Franklin and the Ohio Patrolmen's Benevolent Association, patrol/corporal and sergeant lieutenant units, and declaring that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon passage.
This resolution is assigned to the Finance Committee. We move to waive the 3 readings on Resolution 21-R-61.
Second.
There's a second. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Fetterman?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Ms. Norris?
Yes.
Mr. Stock?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Hargit?
Yeah.
We move to adopt Resolution 21-R-61.
Second.
There's a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Fetterman?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Ms. Norris?
Yes.
Mr. Stock?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Hargit?
Yeah. All right, thank you. That passes 7-0. Move to resolution 21-R-62, Kelly.
A resolution declaring September 3rd, 2021 as James France Day in the City of New Franklin, and declaring that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon passage.
This was assigned to community development and we move to waive the 3.
Second, roll call, please.
Mr. Fetterman?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Ms. Norris?
Yes.
Mr. Stock?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Hargit?
Yes.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
We move to adopt 21-R-62.
There's a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Fetterman?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Ms. Norris?
Yes.
Mr. Stock?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Hargit?
Yes.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
And that passes 7-2. Again, there's no second, third, or pending. We'll move over to our supplemental for our first reading of resolution number 21-R-63. Kelly.
A resolution awarding a bid to Shook Company LLC for the City of New Franklin Venner Road Bridge Project, and declaring that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon passage.
I'd like to make a motion to waive the 3 reading rule for resolution 21-R-63.
Second.
There's a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hawk?
Yes.
Ms. Norris?
Yes.
Mr. Stock?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Hargit?
Yes.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Fetterman?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to pass resolution 21-R-63.
Second.
There's a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Hawk?
Yes.
Ms. Norris?
Yes.
Mr. Stock?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Hargit?
Yes.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Fetterman?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. That passes 7-0. All right. Uh-oh, here it is. There's somebody here who really enjoyed tonight. What extra people?
I don't know if we got any great material tonight, but okay, first of all, the healthcare meeting is set for Tuesday. The 7th, we've got 4 brokers. We scheduled them, we've told them 45 minutes. That leaves a little bit of time for question and answer, and then it leaves a little bit, we left some time in between for discussion for the healthcare committee after they're done. So we scheduled those at 9, 10:30, 12:30, and 2. Please come for any or all of them. We are going to video those, and then we'll make the video available to anybody who wasn't able to attend in person. We have disseminated the information that's been requested, and at least as of this afternoon, and we've done the scheduling with the brokers. I can't exactly remember who we scheduled, or what order, but to this point, nobody's indicated that they didn't. I told them if you need more time to prepare, let us know, we'll move it. Well, nobody said that, so I'm assuming that they're going to be here with presentations and proposals. What I would anticipate from there is that the healthcare committee is charged with making a recommendation to you folks. We'll see what their pleasure is at the end of the day. If they feel strongly and they want to make a commitment and make a recommendation, then we'll advance that to you. If they want some more time, if they want some more information, they want some time, whatever. But I'm going to suggest to them that one way or another, at least by the end of the following week, they'd be in a position to give a recommendation to council. And then it'd be council's, ultimately, council's, we're going to have to confer to some degree. There's no sense in us presenting a resolution to you for something that you don't want to pass. So I think we're going to have to get some consensus from council what direction you intend to go, and then we'll prepare a resolution. In the meantime, I reached out to you, and I hope you all saw that the last time we were together, I was advised, and this was sort of at the last minute, but in any event, my responsibility, that that our current contract would be self-extending, and that's not true. The contract does expire. They'll carry it over. It does expire at the end of September. So they will present us a renewal. The renewal can be canceled. We'll have 30 days cancellation rights without cost. I don't know whether there's going to be any increase in any of the costs. It's been suggested to me if there is, it'll be nominal. But one way or another, on September 15th, we'll have legislation to extend that contract with the assurance that we can cancel that contract with 30 days notice. And the thinking would be this, and I communicated that to the brokers as well, that what we'd anticipate doing is extending the contract effective October 1st. If we get, we're going to meet on September 7th. I'm thinking hopefully by the end of September, we know what we want to do. And we come to the October 7th meeting, or October 8th meeting is our first meeting in October. And ideally, we would have, the brokers have told us it maybe take them 30 days to put it in a contract form. So either the first or at least by the second meeting in October, we'd be in a position to have something to adopt. And I think it'll kind of dovetail where one of two things will happen. Either the healthcare committee will make a recommendation and council will say, we're going to keep what we got. Well, if that's the case, then what you approve in October will be the contract. If at the end of that we say, no, we're going in this direction, then we would give the 30 days notice. And then we'd start the process moving to get that contract in place. And whether it's November 1st, November 15th, whatever it is, the new one would go in place. So that's the plan. It's been good. I think it's been healthy. I'm anxious to see what we get, what kind of offers we get. And I think it was time for a good fresh look. So I appreciate the opportunity. I think it's best for the city and the employees and everybody else to get that. All right. Next, the 15th, our next meeting in 2 weeks, we will have the Purple Heart City folks here to dedicate New Franklin as a Purple Heart City. With your permission, we will do that at the beginning of the council meeting. And I think it's probably going to be 15 minutes or so. We are kind of scouring. We know a couple of Purple Heart recipients. We have been advised of a number of New Franklin residents who were awarded the Purple Heart and are no longer with us. And we're going to acknowledge those people as well. We're trying to reach out to family members of any deceased Purple Heart recipients. So we know we're going to have a few that we can honor. The state Purple Heart board will be here to make the designation for us. There is a Veterans magazine that contacted us, and they're going to be here as well. And then what we intend to do is, once we honor these folks and we accept the honor of becoming a Purple Heart City, we have a little reception. So we're gonna have, we'll take, if we would, we have maybe 10, 15 minutes. We take a break and get a minute to socialize with these folks and then get the meeting started. Does that sound okay with everybody? All right. Normally I'd have a resolution, but we're not declaring ourselves one. They're designating us as the Purple Heart City. And we're accepting that designation. Okay, let me see, just one or two more things. Tudor House profits, I'm very happy to announce that our summer events, Memorial Day Sail in the Summer, 4th of July picnic, our barbecue, 3 movies, 3 music events, our total, we have netted a profit of $3,541 after paying for all those. So those events all paid for themselves, with $3,500 left over towards next summer. And we haven't had our Oktoberfest yet, and we expect to have a decent revenue return on that one. But our movies and music cost us just a little bit under $5,000. And we got $3,500 right now. So I anticipate by the time we're done with Oktoberfest, we'll have the funds for next summer's music and movies. And we'll just keep the continuum going. So it's been a lot of hard work by the committee and a lot of support by council, and we've had a lot of fun with it too. So I want to let you know that. And now I think the only other thing I've got, I am recommending to you the appointment of Nicholas Oleknowitz. You got that one? Okay, OLEChnowicz. And it so happens I've known Nick a long, long time. And he has graciously agreed to serve as the alternate on our Board of Zoning Appeals. That position opened up when Ed Kosla agreed to, and you guys recommend or approve the appointment of Ed to finish out Joe Parsons' seat on the board. So Nick would come on board as the alternate. I'm making that recommendation. That's for the term it's a 1-year term each year, so it expires December 31st of 2021, and we certainly anticipate that we'll be bringing him to you at the end of the year for another 1 year. He's got about a 4-page resume. He's so overqualified for this.
He's a Manchester guy, right?
He's a Manchester guy.
A year after me.
Yeah. Yep. He's been a senior project manager. He's been a construction project manager. He worked with GPD Group. He's worked with architects. We're thrilled that he has a willingness. He's one of our next generation guys.
He lives out here too, right?
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen him in years.
Yeah, he lives over on Johns Road.
Has he been out here? This was back there, because I haven't seen him in years.
Yeah, I haven't seen him for quite a while either, but he's been here all along, I guess.
I'll make a motion to accept the mayor's appointment of Nick Oleknowicz to the board. Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Beautiful, thank you. That's all I got.
All right, nothing, I guess, from Susan. All right, old business?
I have a question. Paul, where is it? I just got a call from a gentleman that has a real property over at Portage Lakes, and he's having some trouble with one of the neighbors. It's a house that they're renting like for the weekend, and he has lost a tenant because of that. And he asked if we have plans to look into that. And Andy and Jim have given me indication that we do.
That's
What's it out?
we had conversations quite a while ago on the short-term rental. We had pretty extensive. We looked at a variety of different legislations from other cities. Hudson was one of the more recent ones who had adopted a pretty thorough ordinance on that. Country Township did as well. I see Hudson is, I don't know if you noticed, but Hudson is back revisiting theirs again. So these are tricky instruments. We got to the point where we had, and we've had our legal working with it, and it's tough legislation. That's all I've said. I think, you know, we had questions earlier in the year from a couple other sources. We haven't heard much from anybody else this summer. So I hope that means things are going well for people. I think there's a place for it, but it's tricky. to get the right balance. The one we ended up with, the last draft that we ended up with, didn't cover just short-term rentals. It covered vacancies. Okay, it talked about that. You know, it tried to address that other problem with foreclosures and houses that the bank owned and they weren't doing anything with, and requiring. But there's a lot of requirements for the property owners, and then you got to figure out what the fees are. You got to figure out what the penalties are. For instance, in Hudson, they had violations for first-degree misdemeanor. You could go to jail for 6 months, and they're rolling that back. So I'm certainly open to further discussion on it, you know, beyond saying that, I guess you just have to see what councils feel. Is it something that you want to tackle again at this point and try to regroup on, or do we look at individual situations and see just from a strict zoning standpoint, is it something that we can address?
It sounded like almost in this instance, Paul, that just very bad judgment of tenants, and it caused the neighbors to be fear for their safety.
Yeah.
And in a case like that, you'd almost call the police.
Sure.
But as a single woman, and this in this instance, it happened to be a single woman that had rented the other place, I can understand how she was thinking. That, you might not want to stay there if this was going to continue.
I mean, we'll certainly look into it if they want to give us the address. We followed up with anybody who's called, and we had one that they were renting it and parking all over the cul-de-sac, and we sent the police down there, and I think that was back under control. We haven't heard anything, since then. So, if you would want to give us the address, I'll be happy to follow through and see what we can do.
Yeah, that was one of the issues we talked about, was just case by case. And that was the one that was near me. And they went down and they haven't had any problems since.
Yeah.
So to call the police is probably, I thought in this instance that it probably would have been better to call the police, but I'm not sure if that was going to be her feel safe.
Yeah, right.
Because it could happen again and again and again.
Right.
Is the problem.
I mean, there's other avenues. I mean, there's nuisance issues and so on, and disorderly. So there's some other ways to address it on an individual case basis. So let us know. But I'm open to, whether we want to do something broader, or we want to try to address these one by one, whatever council feels. I'm open.
Okay, maybe we'll talk about it and see.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we should,
Do something.
we should have something in place, as opposed to trying to do it one-on-one, because then I worry that we get in a situation of, well, you did this for this and this for this, now you want to do this to me, type of thing. And if we have, this is the policy, this is the rules, this applies to everybody, I just think it might be, I don't know.
I don't disagree with you, Jim. I think maybe this is the right time. If we talk about it through the fall and winter, obviously this is primarily a spring and summertime and fall issue. And maybe we benefited, this may be one that we benefited by not having enacted something, because this isn't just a regional problem.
Right.
This is a nationwide issue. And there's a lot of legislation that's being tried and tested around the country on these things. So, maybe we'll benefit from some of the other people's mistakes, drafting errors, etc. But, if we look at this through the winter and try to be in a position to put something in place by early spring before the season starts, then, and when I say early spring, I mean like maybe February or so, because there's registration requirements, etc. So I think we ought to continue the discussion. I agree.
And like you said, it's a nationwide thing. And what's odd about it, because I've been kind of watching it, is we would think that it would be the vacation areas, the ocean fronts or lake fronts, etc. But there's communities in the middle of the country that really don't have anything other than their community that are having issues, and that are trying to put things together. Because you may have a small college in that community, and so that might bring people in, or whatever little thing that could attract, and it creates problems, and neighborhoods are having issues. And so there's a lot of people trying to figure this out for a lot of different reasons.
Even employees coming for a specific business, but only staying a short time.
Well, and that's kind of a different thing, but because you're representing a company, so you're going to probably take care of you would think so. As opposed to having a celebration of some sort, or just vacation fun.
But I think I would be in favor of that looking into it.
I have one quick thing, my favorite subject, but not on the bridge itself. We both were contacted by a gentleman on.
Yeah.
Did we get anywhere with the flashing lights?
No, I talked to Brian on that, and he thinks that's not a bad idea, and he thinks he may already have some equipment here.
Okay, great.
And I did not get back to him on that. The bridge itself, since you didn't mention it. No, that's, it looks like 2022. The funding is there. It's going to happen.
Well, at least we have.
So it's going to reopen.
Yeah.
And
which is super.
yeah,
It really is.
yeah,
It's a good
yeah, I
thing.
agree.
Yeah.
What are you talking about with the flashing light?
So with the bridge being closed, with the street closed sign, road closed sign, there's been a few of the residents saying that people are going through there, it's hard to see, and so.
And Vanderhoof and Cumble.
Okay.
So you can't make a right turn on Cumble. There's a barricade. Well, the residents can get in there.
Right.
There's a stop sign on the other side of Cumble, and there's no stop sign on Vanderhoof.
Yeah, so they're.
We did a traffic study.
Yeah, we
And there really hasn't been, through the grace of God, there haven't been, there haven't been the kind of things that said we got to put something up.
Right.
There haven't. It's like we're afraid. We keep hearing, hey, something bad's going to happen. It hasn't.
There's not a stop sign on Vanderhoof? I thought
It's flipped the other way
yeah,
around.
the stop sign's on Vanderhoof.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
And I know a gentleman's been here to talk about wanting to put up a four-way stop. I've had the opportunity to drive through that intersection a couple times recently, and even though I know, I still feel like it's a four-way stop. It just feels like a four-way stop. So I can see that gentleman's point now, where and I'm going down Vanderhoof, I'm stopping at a stop sign. If someone's coming up Cumble, I'm thinking they're going to be stopping at a stop sign. That's not there. It just has a feel of a four-way stop. So I mean.
We mentioned about maybe putting a few of the little red flashing light on top of the stops. So just to give us a little extra something.
Well, but my point is,
but you're telling me the other direction.
I am stopping, but I'm also thinking that this car coming north on Cumble is going to have to stop also, but they don't have to stop.
So it actually could be an accident.
Yeah, but that could just be my own goofiness.
What's interesting about it is
Before that bridge was out, I used to drive. That's the way I come home all the time. So I never had seen an issue with that. I might go 3 or 4 months just coming home every day that way down Cumble.
Yeah, and you're just zooming on by.
Yeah, I never felt like
and you wouldn't. But for me coming the other way, coming on Vanderhoof, I just felt like they would be coming to a stop also. I just felt like when you were kind of zooming down, you would be stopping. And obviously you wouldn't, you're not even thinking about it, you're just zooming on like you should.
Like if sometimes they put on the sign, cross traffic does not have to stop.
Yeah, I wondered if that was.
Instead of turning it into something like that.
Something like that.
They're out there too, so people know that these cars are not stopping,
Yeah.
It is tricky stuff with these four-way stops. And you're right. We never, what's sort of odd about it is, when Cumble was open, I don't think we ever had anybody ask for a four-way stop there. So now that Cumble's closed, you would think there'd be less of a need for a four-way stop. Number one. Number two, the other question is, I get what you're saying, and I agree with you. And as you're saying that, I'm thinking the same thing down here at Center and Ranger. I mean, that just feels like it ought to be a four-way stop, to me, anyway. And it's not the only one around. And then we get into the revised code. The revised code talks about you're not supposed to use four-way stops to regulate speed. Now we put one up on. We should ask these guys how they like the one in Pearland, because the returns I've gotten, they like the one on Pearland and Harder Home. You don't? Okay, you don't know. There's some people that do, some don't. So anyway, we're trying to. That's a tricky part of it. There's probably a fair number of intersections that are not too dissimilar to that.
Yeah.
That you can make the same statement, and then we're going to put four ways everywhere. Comet's another way. But, we are going to get a double yellow line on Comet. Right now, there has not been on the let's say on the north side of Comet as you're going southbound. That was not a no passing, and So that's in the process right now. That's going to be double yellow, at least from Jaeger to Comet. So we're trying to address things really,
I'm going to ask again, is there anybody interested in contractor registration? Looking into it, having something? I know everybody's, a lot of people are doing, I think Hudson's working on theirs right now too, and just,
We want to do what we did with this and maybe wait and see how it goes for Hudson. David,
well, everybody, I mean, yeah, that's fine, but just because Hudson doing it, there's a lot of communities also do it, so I can see there's no.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if we don't want to do it right now, as opposed to just saying, no, we're not interested, it would be that we'll look and see what they pass.
Well, yeah, but I also, I sent you some from other communities, so it's not just Hudson, I'm just saying that's just another one in Summit County. So I can see how you can get these reports, that's fine. All right, good enough. We're worried about who's selling ice cream out there or going over to where selling encyclopedias, but we're not worried about who's coming in and doing our contracting work, even if it's not going to be anything other than registering. And I talked to zoning and Barry's all for it. So we'll decide to think about it a little bit more.
Okay, I will think about it.
Yes, you're the only one that's going to think about it. So
No, why did it, honestly, you know when I tell you something, I will do it. I will think
But if
about
I
it.
got just you and me, there's no sense in even looking into it. I
Oh,
got Jim
stop
give me a
that.
dead stare.
Stop
Nobody else has said a word.
Andrew,
I don't want
you think we could accomplish it together? Real
No, I
work,
doubt
good.
it. Two against 5 votes.
Stop
No
it, stop
good.
it.
All right, I'm good with that. It saves me a little headache. Work on that. Who's going to rent your places up? See how that goes. All right, new business. Any new business?
We gotta go. Let's see you guys. I got them. I
Get
got
over it,
them.
Ralph,
Okay.
here.
I got it.
New business. No new business. Anybody have any questions for us? Executive session?
No.
All right, cool. All right, make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next meeting, September 15th, 2021. We'll have the Purple Heart City folks here to.
Yeah.
I do prefer white icing and strawberry cake.
Oh, no, it's